නෑ දැන් මේ පැත්තට හරවල් තියෙන ලෝකම්. දැන් ඒ රන්දීර් මහත්තයානේ කිව්වේ එහෙම කළොත් වැඩි ප්‍රදේශයක් අහු වෙනවා හරිම එකක් හරි කියලා. ඒ වුණාට ඒකේ 아무තු ලොකු යහපතක් නෑ ඉතින්.
නෑ මොකක් එකම.
අනේ පින්තූරේ පරසුද්දෙක් මා දිහා නිතරම
දැන් අපි මේ සත්‍ය ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නේ.
So anyway, yesterday's talk was in connection with sati.
මේක නිතරම මතක තියාගන්නවා මානසිකාරයයි සතියයි කියන්නේ දෙකක් කියලා මම ඊයේ කිව්වා.
So it's something that is being like talked about very often, and that is Lokan makes this distinction between manasikara, attention or noting, and sati, and especially the way he explains them is not the way they are normally explained.
මානසිකාරය කොහොමද මනුස්සයෙකුට සත්‍යයකට වෙන එකක්.
So one thing is this manasikara is something that happens anyway to any being. Most of the beings.
ඒක දැනගෙන කරනවා. ඒක දැනගෙන මේ මානසිකාරය කරනවා අතපල්ලයක් දැන් කියනවා තිබ්බා.
ඔව්. හැබැයි ඉබේටම
ඉබේටම දැන් අපි අනිකලා ඉබේට නිකන් ඔය කර ඉන්නවා.
හැබැයි භාවනා කරනකොට දැනගන්න.
කරනවා.
So this is like, let's say, normal people, this attention happens like automatically. So the difference is the practicing people, the attention happens on purpose, like knowingly you are doing these things.
ඒ මානසිකාරය කියන එක මේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනකොට මානසිකාරය මේ අකුසල එකක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
So this attention functions also with the unwholesome things.
So මානසිකාරය කුසල එකක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
And likewise attention works with wholesome, with the wholesome.
එතන කුසලයක ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණාටම සතිය නෙවෙයි.
So
සතිය හැදෙන්නේ.
Even if you have quite high levels of attention or noting, still that it does not mean sati has arisen in the practice.
කුසල මානසිකාරයයි අකුසල මානසිකාරය දෙකක්.
So there are these, Lokamasa says, like two kinds of attentions. One is the wholesome attention and the other one is the unwholesome attention.
මේ භාවනා කරන යෝගාවචරයා මානසිකාරය ඇලෙන්න මානසිකාරය කරනකොට ඒ ක්‍රියාවවල ඇලිලා නැහැ ගැටිලා නැහැ. අන්න එතන සතිය ඇදෙනවා. මානසිකාරයේ ඵලය. මානසිකාර කරනකොට භාවනා කරන පුද්ගලයා එතකොට ඒකේ මේ ඇලෙන්නේ නැතුව ඒ ගැටෙන්නේ නැතුව අතපය එහාට යන්න කරනවා. එතකොට ඒක අන්න එතන සතිය හැදෙනවා.
So now if we consider practicing meditation or yogi, so in him things are done knowingly. That means the attention is together with like doing things happening knowingly, and as the practitioner develops that, sometimes within the experience there is no holding on to it and no conflicting. So that's the occasion where sati has arisen together with this practice.
බාහිර දේවල් එක මනසේ ඒව තියාගෙන මේව කියන ඒක සතියකට එන්නේත් නැහැ. ඒක මානසිකාරය විතරයි. නිකන් බාහිර විකෘති දේවල් ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන අත ගෙනියනවා තියෙනවා. එහෙම ඒකත් සතියකට එන්නේ.
So now even if you pay attention to your bodily activities quite well, but keep on thinking about all kind of external like twisted and useless things, then that kind of paying attention cannot produce sati.
පෙළක් ඉතින් මේ සතිය කියලා ඉතින් මේ ශරීරය හදාගන්න කරන දේවල් තියෙනවනේ. ඒවා සතියට වැටෙන්නේ.
So then some people do that, like some kind of like physical exercises where part of that, if I understand correctly what Lokam's trying to say, part of that might be something like paying attention to your movements and things like that. So if it's part of like exercising and developing your body, Lokam says that that kind of practice also does not fall within the practice that produces as a result sati. I forgot one important thing Lokam said. Within this particular practice, satipattha, like practice of paying attention like we do here, the result or fruit of paying attention is that the sati starts arising. So anyway, but if you have like useless thoughts or you do it for bodily exercise, the sati is not going to arise. And within this practice, part of that is towards the samatha or tranquility, and other part is towards vipassana or insight. So for the vipassana part, it's this, especially these anupassanas, we usually translate it as contemplations. So, but you need a certain level of one-pointedness in order to start, in order for this anupassana to start happening.
සතිපට්ඨානය කියලා කිව්වනේ. සතිපට්ඨාන මේ සතිපට්ඨාන කායානුපස්සන වේදනා ඒ අනුපස්සන සතිපට්ඨානය වෙන මේක. සතිපට්ඨානයට සමතේ සතිපට්ඨානය. ඒක සමත වෙන්නේ නැතුව අර අනුපස්සන එන්නේ නැහැ.
ඒ කියන්නේ අර සති පඨාපේති තමයි සමත කොටස. So within the satipatthana, or this is usually translated as establishments of sati or basis for developing sati. So the part that helps you the sati to arise or establish, Lokam says, is the samatha or tranquility part of the practice. But without that, you cannot develop the anupassana, the part that goes towards insight. So then Lokam is quoting these suttas. The Buddha says, "Oh monks, you say something like you should dwell in sati and clear comprehension." So then the Buddha says, then what is meant by like this sati and what is meant by clear comprehension? So then the Buddha gives its explanation, and the explanation for what is meant by sati, or let's say mindful, being mindful, the Buddha gives the standard definitions from the beginning of the Satipatthana Sutta. It's like
Vidita Vedana Upajanti, Vidita Vedana Upatanti, Vidita Vedana Abhatang Gachanti Gera, me Penana me.
So that means this one was contemplating the body as body ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful and so on for the feelings, mind and phenomena. So then for the clear comprehension in one of the suttas, it's just like that, having like known or recognized, while being known or recognized, feelings or experiencing arise. While being known or recognized, they are, let's say, there, and while being known or recognized, they are disappearing. And the same for perceptions, and vitakka is like applied thought, or just you can think like thinking. So Lokohamdu says this is how the Buddha shows how the like from the sati, where the sati starts being established, the practice is turned into towards the anupassana, which leads to insight.
Oh, එතකොට මේ සමුදය කියන්නේ හට ගැනීමක්නේ.
Oh.
වේදනාවේ සමුදය දකින්න. වේදනාව.
So these three things, it's like 3 by 3 thing mentioned with the clear comprehension. So first talks about feelings or experiencing Vedana, and first thing mentioned is like knowing, or while knowing or recognizing, they arise or they are produced. The word is samudaya in Pali.
දැන්
They can say even originate.
අපි කතා කරන්නේ කයේ මේ හටගන්න සමුදයාරමේනේ රූපේ වේදනාව ගැන මොකක් කරන්නේ වේදනාවක් ඕනේ තාම ඒගොල්ලෝ කැමතින්නේ වේදනාවේ සමුදය තියෙනවා අර වේදන රූපේ වගේම වේදනාවේ හටගන්න තියෙනවා වේදනාවේ ප්‍රයත්නද වේදන නැතිවීම සංඥාවේ හටගන්න සංඥාවෙන් ප්‍රයත්න සංඥාවේ නැතිවීම ඒ වගේ මේ ස්කන්ධ පංචකයේම තියෙනවා මේ කර්ම ටික විනීත.
So these things, that's the feelings, perception and thoughts, they are within the 5 aggregates anyway. And the same things are also mentioned in connection with rupa, or this like material form or body and consciousness.
Oh, එතකොට මේ නිකම් මේ සතිය කියලා නිකන් එකක් අපි කරනවා සතියට අයිති වෙන්නේ ඒ සතියට අයිති වෙන්නේ මොකටද සතියෙන් කරුණු දෙකක් කරනවා එකක් තමයි මේ විපස්සනාවට සිත හරවන එක.
ඔව්.
අනිත් එක විපස්සනාවට හරවනවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම කියලා තියෙනනේ බල ධර්ම කියලා දෙකක්. ඒ ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම වල මේ මැදනේ තියෙන සතිය. ඒකට සද්ධාවයි පඤ්ඤාවයි සම කරනවා සතිය මෙතන. වීර්යයි සමාධියයි බැලන්ස් කරනවා. ඒක තමයි මේ කරන්නේ. මේ බහු භූත සමගම යතියයි කියලා කියන එක තමයි මම මේ කියන්නේ. මේ ටීවී වල කියනවා
මානසිකාර mindfulness කතාවද?
Oh, mindfulness තමයි.
So now because the word sati is supposedly translated as mindfulness, and now these days you have mindfulness of everything almost. Yeah, like mindfulness of money, mindfulness of economics, mindfulness of whatnot. You have TV programs and radio programs, people talking about mindfulness. So Lokam says that kind of mindfulness that the people talk about has nothing to do with sati. What the sati is truly doing is 2 things, Lokam says. So one is turning the practice towards the towards the insight, and the other function is there are these 5 specific qualities of minds which when they are strong enough they are kind of like their specific variety is called indriya or spiritual faculties, and if those spiritual faculties kind of attain higher level they are called spiritual powers. So the middle one mentioned between them is sati again, and the sati function is the second specific function is the kind of thing that balances out those other.
Oh.
So like faith or confidence needs to be harmonized and balanced out with wisdom or experiential understanding, and likewise energy and concentration need to be balanced.
මේ සද්ධාව කියන එක තියෙනවනේ. සද්ධාව කියන එක බුදු දර්ශනයෙන් හැර බාහිරක නැහැ.
So Lokamudra says this word saddha is there available only within the Buddha's dispensation, not outside.
Oh, මේ කියන ඉන්ද්‍රිය ධර්ම මේ සද්ධා වීර්ය ඒවා බුදු දහම විතරයි තියෙන්නේ සත්‍ය.
So there is this some suttas where it said that the 5 spiritual faculties are available only within the Buddha's dispensation. So in the story is like the Noble Search Sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, the Bodhisattva, when he is with these 2 meditation teachers, Alara Kalam and Uddaka Ramaputta, he says they have faith, energy, sati, concentration and wisdom, but that is kind of different story. So those qualities are mentioned, but they are not called indriyas. So they are like the same set of same qualities, or like the names are same, that is confidence, energy, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom, let's say. But in the story, they are not called the spiritual faculties. They are just mentioned by their names. So Lokam says it is the Saddha truly is just to do with the Buddha's teachings or story, Buddha's story. So you cannot mix up other things within the Saddha. So even if you, Lokam says, even if you mix it up, it still does not mix. So this Saddha is this one aspect, let's say confidence or faith, but wisdom or Panya is really about the 3 characteristics. So the shortcut version for what is faith or confidence is the belief or trust that Buddha has attained enlightenment, like that. You believe in the Buddha's enlightenment, basically. So the level of belief in the Buddha's enlightenment and the seeing and understanding of the 3 characteristics needs to be at the same level of like strength. So Local says now this next of the list of these qualities is called virya, usually translated as energy, mental effort, or sometimes even like vigor. So now Lokam says it has to do mostly really about samma vayama, this like perfected effort. So the perfected effort is like the Buddha's way of effort or something like that. The usual definition is preventing the unarisen unwholesomeness from arising and reducing and removing the arisen wholesomeness. So then the protecting and developing arisen wholesomeness and something like encouraging the unarisen wholesomeness to arise for. So this is kind of the right effort. So Lokam says the right effort is not because like in Sinhala those words are used also for people that do exercises. So he said if you do these and these movements has nothing to do with the right effort. The right effort is there like the Buddha's way of effort, and also doing these mudras and showing them here and now. They are aberrations of mind, and we have to get rid of those useless things. They are kind of rotten lies.
Oh, mama, me yoga තියෙන්නේ.
Oh.
Yoga ව්‍යායාම තියෙනවා 240 ගාන.
So Lokam also mentioned if the effort goes correctly, then the concentration needs to balance and go correctly. Anyway, so Lokandu said when he was younger, out of, I don't know, 200 something available, these asanas or yoga postures, he has managed like most of them are. So then he used to, and not like he really knew them and used to practice most of them like when he wanted. So there was like peacocks, and then he was mentioning other, I don't know.
Oh, I think that
Oh.
Everything then my kakul and the bear.
So one of the positions he will do like this and that, but he said because you need to put the like your legs and feet in a special position. Now, of course, because of his like broken hip, he cannot do those things.
Bujanga adane kelino morning atar bujiyagana.
Oh.
Pegane palle ari bimadina me ari usano. Bujanga me morning atar rarida me pegane tin pegane mudadi udata usano.
So the other position
if bigatam bimatina.
Aramuna bimatid.
Oh,
other position is, I don't know what's called, so yeah, like you lie on your stomach, and from the like navel down it's on the ground, and from the navel up it's lifted off the ground. Yeah, but Bujanga is
Bujanga again
Cobra, but why they have not Naga? Anyways.
දැන් එතකොට මේ සලබාසනය කියන්නේ අර ඉන්නේ විත්ත පණගැට්ටෝ ඉන්නේ මේ කකුල් එහෙම තියලා කොළපාට මේ තනකොළ වල ඉන්න. ඒකයි සලබාසනය.
There is a lotus position or grasshopper position.
සලබාසනය කියන්නේ කකුල් ටික අනිත් පැත්තට අරවලා අත් ටිකත් අරවලා මේ බෙල්ල උස්සන මෙහෙම.
I don't know. He's describing how to do that, I don't know. Like you put the feet behind and legs, and then you like lift your body off the ground using as the support only, like probably like your shoulder, things like that. Then there is the frog position.
Oh, පద్මාසනයේ හරි ගස්සලා පද්මාසනයේට යටින් අත් දෙක පිටවනවා. මේම තියෙන අත් දෙක යටට දාලා පද්මාසනේ බඳින්නේ මෙතන ඉඳලා.
I don't know what's Padmasana.
පද්මාසනේ ගානේ ඔහම තියලා.
Padmasana. No Padmasana.
පද්මාසනේ.
So like you put your feet in the lotus position, and then lift yourself off the ground, and you just stand like on your you use your two arms as a kind of supports that keep you up off the ground or things like that. So all of these, they are body exercises. Out of these, not even one can be considered within the right effort. I don't say they are bad, they are good. So those days I was quite healthy, and for the fitness and health, it's good. So with that, if I understand correctly, with that I have managed to stay away from many diseases.
I told him Samma Vayame කුසලය මේක මේ ශාරීරික ව්‍යායාම දැන් කිව්වනේ මේක.
So now once again right effort is to do with wholesomeness, whereas this is bodily exercise.
ඒකෝට මේ සම්මා වායාමයයි සමාධිය තියෙනවනේ. ඒ සමාධියේ මැද ඉන්නේ සතිය.
So between the right effort and concentration is sati.
මේක බැලන්ස් කරනවා.
So the sati is is it called linchpin?
Yeah.
Linchpin. It's like linchpin in when you have scales. No.
Can be with scales.
Yeah. So like the middle thing that balances these two things.
ඒ හරියට දෙක එක ගන්න එක බලට එක විදියට පවත්වන්නේ මේ සතිය.
So the balancing happens through sati.
මේම වෙන්න දෙන්නේ.
The sati prevents them from like going out of sync or out of balance.
ඒකෝට මේක අනුපස්සනාවට වැටෙනවා.
So then that falls. That kind of sati is considered as one of the functions that happens within the anupassana. So is it for that reason that the Buddha told the monks, "Oh monks," okay, I will simplify it. Monks, be mindful and clear comprehending. It's something that is like given directly for Nibbana.
අනුස්සති කියන එක අනුපස්සන ලිව්වත් ලියන්න කියලා මේ මම නෙමෙයි මං කියලා ලියව ගන්නවා.
Somebody was asked to write these things on the board.
අනිච්චතෝ අනුපස්සති නොනිච්චතෝ. අනිච්චතෝ අනුපස්සති.
So this first one is as impermanence, it is okay, so I will now translate the anupassati as like, let's say, observe, but we don't have better word for that. So as impermanent he observes, not as impermanent, not as permanent.
දැන් මේ අනිත්‍යව කියන අපි මේ සිතන්න පුළු වෙනවානේ. අනුපස්සනද විපස්සනාවට ඒක හැදෙනවා. අනිත්‍ය වශයෙන් දකිනකොට අරමුණු.
So when you start seeing objects in terms of impermanence, then that means the practice is now turning into insight practice.
ඒතකොට විපස්සනාවට හැදිච්ච හැටි අපි දැන් මේ නිත්‍යයි කිය ඔළුවේ දාගෙන තීච්ච දේ තියෙන නොනිත්‍යතෝ අන්න ඒක අනිත්‍යයි කියලා හිතන්න නිත්‍යයි කියලා හිතන්න නැතුව අයින් කරනවා ඉතින්.
So we have this like ideas and sense of permanence, maybe even stability and lasting, or these kind of notions of stability, permanence and lasting, they are removed from the mind while this anupassana is happening. So now we are really talking what this talk is about is really about vipassana or insight practice.
විපස්සනාවේ මොකද්ද මේ විපස්සනා කියන එක නෙවුමනා කරන්නේ. එතකොට දුක්ඛතෝ අනුපස්සතෝ සුඛතෝ මේ දුක අරමුණක් අනිත්‍ය නම් ඒක මේ දුකක් ඒකේ දුකක් ඉපදෙනවා. අනිත්‍ය නම් දුකක් ඉපදෙනවා අරමුණේ.
So if there is impermanent object, then within the suffering or dukkha arises in that.
And not sukhato.
So then again, actually maybe better than observing is like seeing objects in terms of dukkha or as dukkha. So then seeing things as sukha, that means like pleasant or comfortable, is not happening.
Anattato anupassati no attato.
Like seeing things as, or in terms of, or as non-self, one does not see them as self.
මේ අනාත්මයි මේක ඒකත් වැරදියටම ගන්න. මේ පුනර්භවයක් නැති කතාව නෙමෙයි බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කිව්වේ. වසඟේ පවතින්නේ නැති එක. වසඟේ පවතින්නේ නැතිනේ අනිත්‍ය දුකයි නිසා. මේක දාගෙන මේ ආත්මයක් ගැන යනවා යාට. ආත්ම කතාව අනාත්මයි කියන්නේ ආත්ම කතාවක් නෙමෙයි විනීත. මේ අපි දැන් මෙහෙම කියමු.
So Lokam says many people have this kind of wrong explanation that this anatta means something like no soul, but it's not about soul means like something permanent going from life to life. Lokam says it's nothing to do with the like next life phenomena. It is really about this no control over things. No mastery over things.
අනාත්මයි කියන්නේ ආත්මයක් නැහැ කියලා බණ කියනවා පරිවර්තනය කරනවා මේක මහා එන කරදරයක්. පුතු අනිත් පැත්ත අරවල ඉඳ ගන්න කියනවා. නේ? කරදරේද?
නෑ අර ලොකුහාම කිව්වේවා පෙළක් අය හිතන්නේ ආත්මයක් තියෙනවා ඒකයි.
ඔව්. මාත් කියනවා ආත්මය කියන්නේ වෙනම එකක්.
So no, I said, but if we say it this way, some people might think there is soul. If we say the Buddha's teaching of non-self is not about no soul, so then people might say, oh, it is not non-self, but there is soul. So Lokam says, so something like soul, because
no, අත්තතෝ කියලා කිව්වම මේ වසඟේ පවත්වන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් නැහැ.
So the soul thing is completely something different. This non-self means according to oneself. So that means there is no mastery or no control, no ownership of whatnot. So whether it's the form or mind, or mind factors, there is no control, no mastery, no ownership over those things. So there are people, some people that train in this.
ධ්‍යාන එයාම පොඩ්ඩු කරනවනේ එතකොට ඒක අත්තතෝ වගේනේ
ඔව්
මේ ධ්‍යානය පොඩ්ඩු කරන
and so there are some people, so this is kind of correction, so there are some people that trains certain things like absorptions, but they consider the absorptions as within some self, like so there is like ownership or mastery and so on.
Oh, එතකොට දැන් මේ අත්තතෝ කියලා ගන්නව අත්තතෝ කිව්වහම මේ මට ඕන විදිය පවත්වන්න පුළුවන් ධර්මතා මේ ලෝකෙ මොනවත් නැහැ.
So within that, this no attato means like not in terms of self, or not anything to do with any kind of self. Lokhamdu says that means you see and understand in this world there is nothing, no phenomena, nothing at all, where you can say you have some mastery or like ownership of that. This is something that was like at the root of the Buddha's discourses. It was one of the first things taught.
Then jati akuna.
Oh.
Satte.
Oh.
Then manusya kan muakari. Satya me vayana.
So now, in all of our cases, the birth happened for all of us, and then when the birth happened, there is some being that is aging or going towards death.
දැන් බලන්න ඔය දැන් ඒක මේ ඒක අනිත්‍ය දුක්ඛ හැදෙන හැටි අනාත්ත.
So within that, can you see how the impermanence, anicca, dukkha and anatta is like working or functioning within that?
ඒක මේ නාග වෙච්චාම හැදෙන එකක් නෙවෙයි.
So this is not something that happens when you are old.
ඔව් මේ දිගට මේ ඉන්න එකක්. ඉපදිච්ච දවසින්ද.
Now it's there from the iparichikana or magiku.
Oh.
From the birth, actually, where we say birth, it's in the sense from the point where you arose in the mother's womb as this like a small blob of something. So from that time, all the impermanence, dukkha and non-self is going on until you die.
I think then it can happen
without break.
Oh, without them, how do I do it?
So now this blob of something is now 80 years old.
අසුවේදී නාගි වුණා නෙමෙයි.
Huh?
අසුවේදී
Oh.
නාගි වුණා නෙමෙයි.
So this 80 something year old person did not become 80 when we became 80.
දැන් මේ ජාතිය පටන් ගත්තයි කියන්නේ ජරාව ඉඳලා පටන් ගත්තා.
So it has been from the very conception where the aging or deterioration process started.
මේ කරුණු තුන තමයි.
So and likewise for all of these three things, they were there from the very beginning, continuously happening.
මේක ලෝකේ බුදු කෙනෙක් එළියට දැම්ම මිසක් දෙවියෝ බ්‍රාහ්මණයට දෙවුලයි කියලා මේක කියනකොට මේ අනාත්තයි කියලා.
So it is something that the perfectly enlightened ones, Samma Sambuddha, like uncovered for the world. And then there were some divine beings, even Brahma beings or Kamsas, when they heard about especially the non-self, they were very much like shocked, we might say almost like freaked out by that.
Oh, then අපි වත් නිකන් මේ අපි හිතනවා මේක ජාති අමාරු කියලා.
So this is now Loka says this point he's now trying to explain is quite difficult, but he will try anyway. Oh.
හැමතිස්සෙම මේ ජීවත් වීමේ කැමැත්තයි ජීවත් වීමේ කැමැත්තයි උදනේ අපි ඉන්නේ.
ඒක So this is Lokam's trying to explain the next term, which is difficult to explain. When we live, there is always this kind of liking for the living or experiencing the life. Like you might say something like indulgence in living. So, and because of this kind of liking towards the experiencing the life and the things or indulging in the living, we are followed by this like big heap of suffering behind us.
Oh, nibbindati කියලා කියන්නේ. Oh. නිබ්බින්දති කියන්නේ බැඳෙන්නේ නෑ අරමුණට. අර කර්ම තුන දැනගත්තොත් අරමුණක බැඳෙන්නේ නෑ.
So Lokam says the normally nibbida is translated as revulsion, but it's really not good translation. So this means when you see the impermanence, dukkha and anatta in the objects, you don't bind yourself to the objects.
Oh, එතකොට බැඳෙන්නේ නැත්තම් මොනවාරි නොනන්දති. ඒක මේ සතුටු වෙන්න දෙයක් නෑ. බැඳිච්ච දෙයක මෝඩකම අනුව අර අනිතට සතුටක් ඇතිවෙනවා. බැඳිච්ච නැති දෙයක සතුටු වෙන්න අරමුණක් නෑ.
So like in the other cases, it was like if you can't see it in terms of impermanence, then you cannot see it as permanent. So for the nibbida, a little bit better translation is disenchantment or turning away. So while considering the objects as in terms of disenchantment or turning away. Nandati means like delighting in or being happy. So this there is nothing to be happy or nothing to delight in the objects. And as Lokam says, because you are not bound to the objects, that's why there is nothing to like be happy or delighting. So some people meditating, they have this soft, sweet smile. Lokam says now, because of my face, swollen face, I cannot show it nicely, but you must have seen those people, and they have this like smiley sun face. So you can understand that this no Nibindat is not happening. There is kind of, you can see they are like being happy or delighting in that meditation experience. So which means, so Lucas, if I understand correctly, something like this. This is a guide that goes towards aging, deterioration and death. Is there one point where which you can say and catch and say, yeah, this is the point where you can be happy about that point or delight in that point? So there is no point like that, but Lokam says it's okay if you don't understand this. But at one point this needs to be understood. So the viraga?
No, virajati can एक तो होते हैं पांडे ने जातु टुकरला याने ने नौकर
dispassion.
virajati no
एक viraga-anupassana. So the next one is seeing terms in this things in terms of dispassion or non-attachment or non-gluing. So rajyati kiyana?
Rajyati kiyane samen rajyati element.
So rajyati means like glue or like attach or be closely associated, something like that. So now you have seen the impermanence, suffering, non-self, and no enjoyment or no nothing like happy in the things. So for such a one, they don't like stick to stick is a good word. They don't stick to the experience.
Then rajyati ke dhamma negan
So the other quality of rajyati is you try to again and again find similar things or experiences. Stickingness or attachment. So if we don't get this realization, this understanding arising, now we have already now in all our cases there was a production of a life or existence. That's why we are here. So if you don't understand the situation, you will definitively do the same thing and again produce a renewed existence.
Oh, right. No, that, yeah. No, that. Nirodeti, no, samudeti. Samudeti can dame no kota. Samudeti. Daddy kota alaga kisi meka. Kisi maramuna. Samudeti.
So the next one is seeing in terms of cessation is also not the best translation, or like non-arising. So when you see the experience in those terms, what does not happen is samudaya. Samudaya is usually translated as origin, but it also means like actually a come together. So when you see that in things in terms of nirodha or cessation, there is no combining things together. So you don't like put things together for something new. That cannot happen if the nirodha is truly understood. So the mind normally has this tendency to do something new, like get into something or do new something. So that it is qualities like that are like undone by understanding the cessation. So because this nirodha, that's why I prefer translating as non-arising or never arising again very literally, means that there is understanding once a thing that has arisen, like is done, finished, disappears, never ever again this same thing, like it's not ever going to arise again. That cannot happen.
අපේ ජීවිතවල අපිට කවදාකවත් අලුත් දේවල් මේ අලුත් දෙයක් අල්ලගෙන මෙනෙහි කරනවා, සතුටු වෙනවා, කෙලෙස් අට ගන්නවා, එක එකව තියෙනවානේ. කොහොම අලුත් දෙයක පරණ දෙයක නෙවෙයි.
So our life is always with new things, holding on to the new things, producing new things, with the new things producing all kind of defilements, but it is always with new things, new objects, new experience. There is never old experience. Because there is nothing that can be really called old object. Even past object is really not anything like that. It's always a new one. But we think it is the old object. So because of this wrong way of understanding, it is exactly because of that we are always producing this renewed existence. Or renewal of existence. So the person also in a way knows whenever he's attending to an object, he knows this is a completely new object, because he knows the with the experience before that has ceased and stopped. It's like no, it's like cannot happen again anyway. So there is like inner understanding that every object is a completely new object.
ආදිත්‍ය කියන්නේ කරදමයි ගහන්නේ දැඩි කොට මාරගෙන නෑ මොන මාරමුණක්
ආදිත්‍ය කියන්නේ
කියන්නේ අතයලා මුදා
නෑ ආදිත්‍ය
කියන්නේ
ඔව්
අතරිනවා
නෑ ඒක බෑනේ
මෙතන ආදිත්‍ය
නෑ ආදිත්‍ය අර වැරද්ද පැත්තක් නේ
ඔව් ආදිත්‍ය කියන්නේ දැන් මොනවා හරි දැන් අපි පටිනිසජ්ජතිනේ
ඔව්
පටිනිසජ්ජති උනොත් පටිනිසජ්ජති කියලා කියන්නේ මේ පුටුව කියලා පුටුව මාගේ මාමා කියලා අල්ලගෙන ඉන්න එක අතහැරලා.
So anyway, so the last of these anupassanas, or seeing in terms of is Patinissagga is like giving up or giving away, renouncing. So it is especially considering things in terms of me and mine, connection with phenomena. That is the given up thing. It's not about the chair really. It's with this notion, and actually I call it notion because I don't have better word. This notion of me, my and myself normally is something which kind of helps us grasp the experience, or not helps us, like always the experience is grasped with one of these or some combination. So this giving up gives up this notion of me, my and myself, which normally grasp the experience. So we like it's like the holding on to or grasping of the experiences through these three notions, and this giving up means you get rid of this grasping notion. So Loka says in other terms, these three are actually craving, conceit, and view. View, ditti.
Oh, ditti.
So the experience is normally grasped or hold onto this craving, conceit, and view. So this is absolutely necessary to really remove or abandon or give up these same three things. So that is this giving up is this Patinissagga. So we have objects where we are tied to them either through conceit or view. So then, or craving. So then we like let go of them or give them up. Give up. We don't give up the object itself, but the grasping. So Lokam uses this example in the beginning, the chair. So once again, it's not about giving up the chair, but giving up these specific qualities which grasp the experience.
Oh,
you like give up the craving. Give up the conceit. So some, especially elderly ladies, they come here, and before they start they have this kind of small chat with Lokohamdu, and during that they tell him, "Oh Bhante, now I have given up all my conceit and all my..." But this is because in English we cannot avoid the mind, but they say, "I have given all conceit and I have given up all views." But Lokam says they say this because the craving is now working. So when they say, I have given up all things. So, so they say, I have now, Bhante, I have now given up everything, but now there is this one of the, let's see, daughter is looking after this elderly lady all the time, and the other daughter comes once every 2 months or something like that. So when the second daughter comes, this same mother that has given up everything starts telling this daughter that comes only very rarely, oh, this one that looks after me, she's not doing this and she's doing that, and starts like complaining about the daughter that is looking after her all the time. Oh. And so this was kind of nothing to do with the Patinissagga, but so anyway, as was mentioned before, but this was just observation how people say they let go of everything or give up everything, and what happens. So this Patinissagga, this giving up, especially means you give up these qualities, these three qualities of mind through which the experience is normally always being apprehended.
Aniccanupassana, dukkhanupassana, nibbidhanupassana, nirodhanupassana, viraganupassana, nirodhanupassana, patinissagga කියලා කිව්වනේ. මේ යම් කිසි හඳුනා ගැනීමක් වින්දනයක් තියෙනවා, දැනීමක්. අන්නේ දැනීම ඒ දැනීම අරමුණු කරනවා.
So now within those, all these contemplations or seeing the things in terms of impermanence, dukkha and so on, there is something like understanding or getting how the things are happening. So then this understanding itself becomes an object.
Oh, it was මේ දැනෙන් ටික තියෙනවනේ. ඒ දැනෙන් ටික තමයි දැන් වෙන්නේ.
So now the person is experiencing the understanding.
එතන දැන් ගත්ත වේදනාව මොකක්ද කියලා හඳුනගත්තා. ඒ වේදනාව හඳුනගත්තා.
So then whatever feelings or experiencing is there in connection with that object, that is also recognized. So that is how it's supposed to have happened with the Buddha. We cannot say how if it's really happening this way for us now.
Then අපි මේ කොහොමද අපිට මේ ඉපදිච්ච දවසේ ඉඳලා වයසට යනකම් මේ යම් කිසි තේරුමක් හටගත්තේ නැත්තම් අපිට මේ දුකේම ජීවත් වෙන්න වෙනවා.
So now we have this life, and if we don't get at least a little bit of this understanding that was mentioned before, some kind of grasp of the real situation, then we are really going to suffer.
Oh, දුකයි කියන එක ලෝකේ තියෙන එක.
So this dukkha, translated usually as suffering, is something that's there in the world.
ඒක හඳුනාගත්තා.
And that has been recognized or figured out.
ඒකෙන් අයින් වුණා.
Then one is removed from that.
ආලෝකයක් පාලනය වෙලා.
No, ආලෝකෝ උදපාදිනේ.
සමුදේ මේ සමුදයෙන් තමයි මේ වේදනා සමුදේ. මේ මම කිව්ව ටික තමයි ඇත්තේ. අත ගැනීමෙන්
මෙලෙස අනුපස්සනාව
අත ගන්න කරුණු මේ ටික තමයි අත ගන්න.
ප්‍රකටව වේදනාව
ප්‍රකට වේදනා අත ගැනීම වැටීම නිමාවට යාම යන දැනගැනීම. ඒ කියන්නේ විදිතා වේදනා උපජ්ජන්ති විදිතා වේදනා පතන විදිතා අබ්බාතං ගච්ඡන්ති.
මෙම කරුණු සමුදයෙන්
මෙම කරුණු සමුදයෙන් වේදනා සමුදය මේ කරුණු ටික.
So if I understand correctly, so this with this understanding, one understands it is because of this ignorance, craving, kamma, contact
Oh.
and nibbati is kind of like combination of those, that things arise. So like the one from this seeing things in terms of impermanence and so on, one comes as one gets that the understanding itself becomes an object for the practitioner, and with that one gets understanding that any kind of arising is there based on these things, that is ignorance, craving, kamma, contact and their combination. So whatever feeling is there arises is because of these, how many, 4, 5?
Oh.
Ignorance, craving.
Yes, Nibbati Dakkana is not their combination.
Nibbati Dakkana.
Well, Kam usually translate said that Nibbati is like out of these 4, something new is produced.
Yes, something new is produced is the Nibbati.
Oh yeah. So anyway, it's outcome. It's not outcome. It's like on top of it, like creative, like new creation. That action? No. It's they call it like expression. So like on top of this, you create like one extra, something extra. So the new extra thing is this Nibbati. Anyway, so may the Triple Gem be a refuge for us. May everybody be well and happy, and thanks for listening.
Good.